Welcome, Chase here, Chase Quarter with Brandon Harris. This is our second coaching session that we've had, and really looking forward to it. So, Brandon, welcome, brother.
Thanks. Nice to be here, man.
Good to see you, man. What's been going on with you since last time we met?
Oh, what hasn't been? Just same old. Just very busy days. Looking forward to some ebbs in the flow here because it's just been pretty busy with work, school, family, all those things going on. Just trying to balance it all. So that's it. Now, the school years, we're halfway, three-quarters of the way through, so it's a downhill side. It's usually when it starts getting, and I'm talking about my profession school, not the graduate. It's usually when it starts getting a little bit easiir, if there is such a thing. So that's it. Just keeping it all focused. Trying to make my days shorter than they are, but they tend to be very long now.
Right.
And just balancing that with family. Everything else is hunky-dory.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the time change, unfortunately, your days are a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to tell you that, but I know last time we talked about your rifle team. Is that still going good?
The rifle team was going well, and our season is over. We had the championships a week ago, and we just barely, and when I say barely, it's rifle team is all about each shot. Every shot counts, and so it's like missing a free throw in a basketball game with no time on the clock. We were one pellet away from continuing on to the next round. But unfortunately, one of my students, one of my shooters, he had the classic where something slipped or went wrong, and his shot was a little bit less than what he normally shoots, i.e. a 0. And so we barely missed out on going to the next round. But I do have two shooters that are going to compete in the state championships here in a month.
Oh, awesome.
So the season as a team is over, which those demands have been relieved a little bit because these individuals can practice during school.
Yeah.
So my after-school time has been reduced. Excuse me. But I still have rifle stuff left. So the long season continues.
Yeah, I mean, well, so that's awesome. I mean, you got two people competing for a championship, and then it's almost over, so that'll free up some more of your time.
Definitely.
So that's great. So after that, what else is going on? I hear that we've talked a little bit before about another possible opportunity for you.
Yeah, I'm in one of those. I don't know if it's a crossroads, but it's definitely a Y in the road where I can choose a different path if I so choose. I have, as we mentioned before, and I don't know if we talked about it in our previous one, I'm a former airline industry pilot.
Right.
And I selectively chose to get out of the profession. And that's how I landed this job right now. And so right now the airline industry is picking up again. So I have the same employer, JetBlue, calling back asking, am I coming back or not? And that's the biggest dilemma is, do I want to?
Right.
And as we talked about in our previous session was, is this something that I would enjoy? Is it fulfilling? Does it have the quality of life balance that I'm looking for? Do I miss it enough? These are all the decisions that I'm going through in my head to try to figure out if this is something that I want to pursue. Because as I stressed before, I really enjoy what I'm doing now.
Right.
The value, the quality of life. My time, not so much these days. I've been pretty busy, but it's all with the KSU master's program thrown in. But it's just the quality of life. Do I want to trade that and go back to a life where, do I miss it enough to go back and do that, to have time away from home? So I don't know. I do miss aviation. I do miss flying. But my biggest conscious decision now is, do I miss it enough? Or do I value it more than I value my life right now?
Right.
It's a decision, and life's about options and opportunities.
Sure.
So the fact that I do have that option, I appreciate. It's incredible to have that type of. I think a lot of people would love. Do you want this job or do you want to go fly commercially? So all over the world. So it's definitely a dilemma that I enjoy being in. But it's something that I'll spend time, talk to my family, see how they feel, see what they feel about it. and I don't, you can't keep the people waiting so long. So
Right.
I'll have to make a decision one way or another.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, so you miss flying. I hear you saying that.
I do.
I hear that you really like what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really great. Now, other than flying itself, have you reached out to anybody and really pick their brain about what their lifestyle is like in the airline industry?
Yeah, and see, the good point is I had a taste of it before.
Okay.
So I know what the lifestyle is like, and definitely with this company, I may have an opportunity to, at the very least. I've had offers from, I've had friends at FedEx calling me saying, "Hey, put an interview in, put a resume in. We'll get you on board."
Right.
Because FedEx is hiring now, so flying boxes around. So I know what the industry is like. I got a brief taste of it.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I talked to I've being a 24-year military guy in aviation, you have
a good idea.
Yeah, and I have tons of, I can count them on two hands, and friends and former colleagues that are in the profession that I run into or talk to all the time.
Right.
Who are very open, with the life. And to be honest with you, some of them envy my lifestyle. So some of them are quick to say, "Dude, I'd love to be doing what you're doing. How do I get that job?"
Yeah.
And some of them, they live in a dream. They love it. So I just every individual is different. So I just think it's taking a look at it and see, do I miss that again? Do I miss that more? I enjoy flying. I can honestly say that the type of flying I don't miss, because it's a lot different than what I did in the military. In the military, I flew high performance aircraft.
Right.
I yanked and banked and burned
you don't get
and
to shoot
turned.
anybody in a
Exactly. I hope not to. Yes, but the most exciting part of commercial aviation is the takeoff and landing. The rest of it is, So do I miss that enough? And it's definitely a different breed. When I retired from the military, the biggest thing I missed, believe it or not, was the people. The incredible people you work with daily, the people that are responsible for keeping your aircraft airworthy, the people that keep the papers work all accomplished, the people that do all the backbone of what you do, the friendships you make and nurture. Those are the things I miss more, are just as equal to the flying. And that's not so much in the commercial industry. That's another reason, a detractor from me. I can fly next to a guy who all he's going to do is complain about how his life sucks. When it's really, most people would envy him and want to be him. But all they do is look for things, and you can talk, at a 4-hour flight, 3 hours and 50 minutes of it are going to be, complaints about why it's not great, why I'm not greater than what I already am. So the same type of camaraderie is not shared in the commercial industry as it is in the military. So that's the kind of stuff that, when I do my pros and cons, those are some of the things that sway my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the pros and cons, and I was going to ask you if you had listed those out and really gone through, but it really sounds like you have.
Yeah, the pros are definitely with my current occupation is the quality of life. I can't beat it.
Sure.
Generally, I work a 9 to 5. I have weekends off. Generally, I'm saying, there's competitions and things that may interfere with that, but generally, I have a 9 to 5. I have every holiday that the school has off. I have 2 weeks for Christmas.
Ton of vacation.
Yes, 2 months for summer, a spring break, a winter break, President's Day, MLK Day, Thanksgiving, Easter. So there's a ton of things that I did not necessarily get to partake in when I was active duty. That the whole reason of me doing this is to have those moments, have those times that I can spend with my kids, take them do things. So that part, that's the biggest pro to me. The salary is comparable to the airline industry in the short term. In the long term, of course, the financial gains are greater in the airline industry because the longer you're in, the more money you make. So every year is pretty much a pay raise. And then the more I'm at the mercy of myself. If I want to fly more, I can make more money. Or I can fly the minimums and still keep my job as long as I want. So the potential growth in financials for the financial security I seek would be greater in the airline industry. But it's okay. Like I mentioned in the first video, I'm all about balancing financial compensation with quality of life, and I've achieved
Yeah.
that balance here. In the airline industry, I think I would probably just achieve more of the financial security and less of the quality of life because I'd be gone more.
Yeah.
If that
Yeah.
makes sense to you, I wouldn't have the same robust or same comfort schedule that I have now with this current job.
Yeah, and that seems like that'd be a lot to lose.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and hearing you talk about it, I mean, hey, sign me up for your job if you take off. I mean, I could use a summer off and all those
Right.
days. There's no doubt about that. So you come from the military. You love the camaraderie. Obviously, I'm sure there was a lot of hell there, but it sounds like there was a lot of fun.
Right.
That's your roots. I mean, you're still dressing it today, but you're in a role that you're very happy with.
Yes.
You know, as far as balance wise, that you know where your life's at, and you're making decent money. And I think what I'm hearing a little bit is your biggest concern is finances. Sounds like you're pretty good, but you might want to look at you know a little bit more. Is that what I'm?
But that's right? I mean, it's not a concern more so, but it's you know, every job, everything you do in life, at least for me, it's always you look at the growth potential. You plant a seed, you want it to grow, and you want it to flourish. So a job without growth potential, to me, is not rewarding.
Okay.
So do I have growth potential here? Not necessarily, because I'm in charge.
Sure.
If I wanted to maybe someday go into administration and move up, you know, I could. That would be my growth opportunity here.
Right.
Or get, you know, various degrees, EDS degrees, EDD doctorates. Those are financial growth potentials for me. But the bigger financial growth potential would be in the airline industry, like I said, because the longer you're there, the more money you make.
Right.
So, but I'm okay with that because I'm compensated very fairly and to live my life comfortably like I want to live. Is it security? No, it's
right.
not, you know, it's not wealth. It's definitely not wealth, but it's comfort.
Right.
And I'm okay with that for the time being with what I'm doing. I'm okay with the balance that I have right now, but definitely it's not, like I said, not a concern. But if I want to grow financially more,
sure,
that would be the attraction to the airlines. Do I want to achieve this level of security? Do I want to achieve this level of growth financially? Right. And where can I get that? It could be aviation, commercial industry. It could be in the private sector if something else should come about as a result of this EMBA.
Yeah. You
know, or maybe a 9-to-5 that compensates me more than what I make. So it's to me, it's all about creating those options and opportunities.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing here is the huge struggle I think that we all deal with is finance versus fun, or finance and freedom, or hey, you know, we're selling ourselves to go make $1, right? I mean, we all get that, and it's interesting because you obviously have the desire to achieve.
Definitely.
You know, you're a commander, all the other things that you've achieved. Your social organizations, your master's program.
Sigma Alpha Pi.
Sigma Alpha Pi, SAP. You know, here that's a great thing you got going on.
Top of the pinnacle.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you're doing a lot.
Yes.
It sounds like. You're enjoying what you're doing. You know, it's almost like you're afraid to, or, you know, to relax and to kind of settle a little bit. You know, I don't know if that's it or not. You know, I'm trying to pinpoint this, and it sounds like you've made a list.
Right.
You know, you're thinking about this all the time. You know what you seem like you've kind of got it figured out.
Yeah.
And now you've got that choice, and now you're trying to just decide what choice to make.
Right. Part of it is the fighter pilot in me. You know, you're always looking for that next adventure, that next conquer.
Yeah.
Tip of the spear, living on the edge kind of thing. So I think that part of me still exists.
Yeah.
But I do realize I'm a very mature age, I like to call it now. So I have to think more of the family than just myself. So yeah, that's I'm always about. I don't want to ever go through life wondering what if. So I don't want to miss or not even carefully examine any opportunity that presents itself to determine the max value of it, and if that value is worth taking. So that's just how I am. I don't want to say, man, if I would have did this, you know, we could have been here, or our life could have been that way. You know, I definitely don't have regrets, but I'm just not a what if kind of person. I like to look at something, make a conscious decision, yes or no, do I want to do it, and then live with that. There will be no regrets that way. But if I fail to, didn't even give it the proper attention that it deserves, that's the kind of stuff that I may kick myself in the butt for and think, oh man, if I'd have just, like playing a lottery, if I'd have just bought one ticket, it could have been me. You know, you can't win if you don't play. So that's my philosophy.
So now we're talking a little bit about opportunity. And it seems that we're kind of getting down to a core root here of what may be driving this issue that you've got going on. Because, you know, like what I hear you're really happy. Finances are okay. Family life's good, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you're looking for that challenge. And I think that you've looked outside of, you know, the workforce for that. You're leading a rifle team. You're involved in other organizations. You're a father. Every time I try to get a hold of you, you're doing something. So I know you're busy.
Right.
And I definitely relate to you for sure about the fear of that opportunity missed. And I don't know if that's something that we could ever be happy with, right? I mean, because how do we know that we've made the right decision up until now? You know, B, close this door real quick. Sorry about that. So yeah, you know, I think you've got some deep clarity on where you're at, and I know that you feel like you've got this decision that you've got to make. And if I could just encourage you, the fact that, man, I think you're in a great spot, and I think that, hey, it's better to have opportunities than not have opportunities, like you mentioned earlier. So, have you thought to yourself at all about why it is that you feel that fear of missing out on the boat?
I have given it thought, and I think the biggest thing is again, regret. Do I want to not give something the proper attention it deserves, and then realize 5 or 6 years down the road when it's too late that, man, if I would have only done this, you know, I could be, you know, sitting where I am doing what I'm doing, instead of kicking myself in the butt, saying, you know, the train has left, you know, and then 5 years from now I can't do it, you know, it's too late. So that's it with me. I hate missing an opportunity, and it's not necessarily taking it; it's just missing it.
Right.
That's, if that makes any sense. The whole EMBA program is like, do I want to try this now, or do I want to put it off even longer and then really struggle because I've been out of the educational system so long or whatever, and then, you know, time management gets more critical. You know, so it's just you don't want to regret not giving an adequate attention to an opportunity. Right.
Yeah, and I think, again, I totally understand where you're coming from. I almost, it's like hearing my own thoughts, hearing you say that. But I think that's something that I would like to talk more with you about, even beyond this session, because we've got to be able to conquer that.
Definitely.
If you take XYZ opportunity, you know, and I don't know what it would be to be perfect for you. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm a little hung up on, because to me right now, I think it's going to come down to priorities. And you mentioned that you're not number one in your priority list.
Right.
I'm about to find out what that's all about too. I would challenge you to map out those priorities first, and maybe that's something we start with next session. Is what does that list look like?
Right.
You know, and then let's start making a list from there about steps we can take to say, okay, well, finances, are those okay? Right? Do we need to take a step somewhere else to achieve the goal you want to achieve with that?
Right.
Or, you know, once we have the list of priorities, is your family number one, or is that time off? Is that what's most important? Right. I think that's going to be the root of what I definitely want to talk about next session. again, I mean, I'm envious of where you're at. You're obviously very, very driven. You know, you want to achieve. I don't know if that's just what the military does to people or not. I think that's fantastic. Again, I just want to go through. So again, my challenge to you is let's talk about your priorities next, and let's try to map out what it's going to take to achieve that. I don't want you regretting everything in life. I mean, that's the core where I want to work toward is how can we remove the thought of possibly regretting something.
Right.
That's where I would like to go.
Okay.
How does that sound to you?
Sounds good to me, man.
Okay, good. Well, hey, I really appreciate this time.
I do too.
So, yeah, let's meet up in a couple weeks. Let's go over this list and let's see how we can eliminate the fear of regret and let's make the right decision.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right.